Well, this is a bit of an interesting one. I've actually managed to spectate a game of Chester and Mitch that are playing away. And impromptu, I think it might be fun to do a bit of commentary. So it looks like we've got Chester on the bottom here, who's running a load of Steel Viper, 3 assembly, 3 tactics on the table, and the R&D team, which will give him a huge boost. Stockpile, scrap heap, hand. This is a normal game, not a dual stockpile from what I can see. Yep. And there's also a Hanky Prime out and a Battle Cobra Prime in the patrol area. Mitch has got a logistics, an assembly, and a couple of tactics, and this cybernetic control node, which also gives him tactics. And this gives each of your Word of Blake affiliated battle army units without C3I, -1 structure, and C3I. So this is a bit like C3, but instead of just having a C3 upgrade, this is all of your units. So that's super duper powerful. And we have oh, what have we got here? What's just come out? This gives assembly. It's a Krupp Arms Works. Tap for 2 resources, very useful, and repair 4 damage to one of your units or 3 across them. Looks like that's not being used. He's repaired 1 on the Assura battle armor, which seems a little strange. I would have thought that would have come out and you would have repaired 2 on there, but then that would use 1 assembly. This gives you 2, so maybe we've got something coming out for about 5 or 6 resources. If this is the Word of Blake starter deck that Mitch showed me the other week, and I really liked it, I must say it was a really good thing to put together again. There are some 5 and 6 cost units in the middle there. What have we got over? Oh my Christ, that's big. That's a 259 Diva, overheat 1+1, long range 2, C3I, ECM. That is a wall. That's basically a 398 if it attacks with something else with an overheat of 1, so it could get up to 9 and long range 2. That's gonna be a pain for Chester to deal with, from what I can see. Mitch also has an Assura battle armor. Choose a mech you control. That mech gets +1 attack and +1 armor. That's only usable during a mission, so that gives a nice boost to one of your other units, providing it's a mech. Can't give it to battle armor. We have a Phalanx battle armor, which has stealth. Each unit assigning damage to it gets -1 attack. That's really strong. And this Praetor, 164 jump C3I. Now, because of the cybernetic control node, which now is a resource and you can pull it with Wolfers, it's super strong. These guys all have C3I and is in a big old bunch. That's a moderate, that's a slow, that's a slow. This is an Omni mech, so the battle armor, yes, they are all moderates. So Chester can block with both. The big problem here is that everything's got +3 attack. So that's 7, and another 5 is 12, and another 5 is 17, which, given that that's 5, and that's going to be another 7, because the Hanky Prime's got ECM, that's going to kill both of these. And the question to ask is, can Chester trade effectively? 3 and 4, overheat for 5, so that's 8 damage. You could kill the Predator, you could kill 3 on there, which would leave you 5 armor, which would be at -1 on each, enough to kill the Phalanx. So with no missions he could, oh, what have we got here? Combined arms. So I'm assuming Chester's not playing anything. Play during a mission where you have at least 2 different types of unit. You've got battle armor and a mech. Choose one of the engaged units. Unit gets +2 attack. Choose one of the different types of units engaged. Choose one engaged unit of each type, so they both get. Oh shit! They both get +2s. I've lost count. What was it? 17 plus another 2. That's 21 or something stupid. The Hankyu died and traded with the battle armor. Okay, that doesn't seem a great trade. You've paid 3 for a Hankyu, and you've managed to trade it into a 0 cost battle armor. Okay, that gives +1 attack and +1 armor, so you possibly couldn't have taken the phalanx out. So maybe that was a reasonable trade. That ability could have been used on the phalanx, and that also gets -1. So you, with the numbers I was quoting earlier, you possibly couldn't do that. Chester's gone with, let's just do this. He's played a War Funds from his hand. He's tapped a Tactics to pay for that. In fact, has he tapped another Tactics? And he's playing for an Advanced Manufacturing Techniques. So, is that from his hand? So those are his 3 deployments, 3 resources. Wow. What is going on here? Because we can't see the card under construction, but you can only think it's got to be something big. If Chester's playing ALT with Advanced Manufacturing, this could be one of the Goshawks or one of those big units. That's another 3 on top of that. 4, 5, 6, which would get it to 9, and an AMT would get it to 11, 12. So is oh, and you've got the War Funds as well. Is this going to be something big? Are we going to see a monster on the table? And if we are going to see a monster on the table, how is Mitch going to deal with it? It's not just as easy as whacking something out there to do that. There's 8 counters on there. 6 plus another 2, that's 8, and then you're going to go AMT, that gets that to 11. Does it cost 11? Will it come out? Will it get turned over? Because if it doesn't, you've got a feeling that Chester's in a bit of trouble, because this lot's going to come over and the Battle Cobra is going to take a bit of a pounding. Most of this is going to survive. All of that's going to survive next turn, and then Mitch has got whatever's coming on the table. So 11 counters on there, and it's not being turned over. I'm not so... I fear for Chester here. I think Mitch is going to... Okay. Battle Cobra out by the looks of it in the patrol region. This guy's in the patrol. This lot's going to come over and spank the hell out of the Battle Cobra. The question is, do you get kind of optimized and send the Diva and the Phalanx, knowing that it's got ECM and -1, so that's 5. Oh, it could just kill it, and it sure has done that. So you probably could trade Battle Cobra for Phalanx if you attacked with a pair. Although it makes sense to go over with everything because of the +3 attack. This is the problem with C3, it's groups. I think ideally you'd want to go and attack maybe with the Preta and the Phalanx, which is 4 plus the C3 stuff from the cybernetic node, which is going to kill the Battle Cobra, and then head over with the Diva after. It's just that the Diva's only doing 5 plus 1, 6. It's not getting the C3 bonus, which is a bit weak, or not as good as it could be. But let's face it, at this point in the game, Chester's 4 cards down, and he's looking at being another 6, so that's going to be 10 cards down, with Mitch having 2 units on the table plus what he puts down this turn, and Chester kind of reliant on this big beastie down here with 11 counters on it. And if Mitch has got an answer for that, then this could actually be quite a quick game. Apologies for the short camera view. I am on reserved second chair, having broken the normal one. So what have we got? Okay. Chester's scrapped a War Funds to put a repair facility out, which seems a bit bizarre. And the reason it seems a bit bizarre is he hasn't actually got anything to repair, and we're out of the repair phase. Why wouldn't you just tap the war funds next turn for another counter? Or is he going for 12 counters on here? Maybe the other war funds gets it to 13. Oh, maybe it is something really big. Oh, it's the 13 counter job. What have we got coming out? Oh, it's a 12 cost Nightjire. Okay, so it was 12, not 13. And he's got a Nightjire Prime in play. Okay. That evens things up a bit, but you still have to favour Mitch with, even if this overheats with a 10, 11 damage, it was just going to kill the Diva. And Mitch can easily attack with all three as a group. Remember that the Phalanx gets the C3I because of the cybernetic control node, which seems really, really strong in this game. So let's see what we've got. You've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 resources, 8 resources with the control node. Okay, we've got 2 deploys down here. This could well be units and stuff. And if this is the... Oh, have we got 3? Or is one of those a stockpile somewhere? Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, we've got a bit of reorganising going on. So, okie doke. Another little battle armour. Okie dokie. Yeah, that +1/+1 on that's actually really quite nice. It's a nice little unit, that is. Another Diva, 296 C3. Another something that's going to soak up a punishing from that Nightjire and trade reasonably well. And then there's this third one down here, which... Do we get another deployment from somewhere? I'm not sure where the third deployment comes from. That's just repair, that's 2 Rs. Cybernetic control node is a resource in all of those things. You wonder about this. I wonder whether it should be you can tap it for a resource while it's untapped each of your Word of Blake affiliated unit, because just having that static ability on the table seems really, really strong. Underneath me there is a deployment which nobody can see. If I move myself, and I've got to move me, there you can see it, there it is, and there we go. Let's just shuffle me back a bit. Oh. So there's a card under there, we'll see what happens. And Mitch has gone over, yeah, with the mediums, the 2 mediums, and having done the maths, these get C3, so that's 4, 7, 9, 11 damage, and this gets stealth. So Chester's probably going to block, overheat, assign all the damage to the Phalanx and get rid of the Phalanx, which in itself seems like a reasonable trade, but when you look at the development curve here, this has cost Chester 4 resources, and that's cost Mitch arguably nothing. It's a deployment. Oh, it's not even a deployment. You could deploy it revealed and gain an additional deployment, which seems a pretty good trade. It seems a pretty good trade. It may well be that Mitch, because this is slow, is going to sit with this and the Diva. 5 plus another 3 is 8, 6 plus another 3 is 9, 17 is more enough to deal with the Nightjire, and an 11 cost is going to be enough to take out one of them. Or is it? No, it's not. It's not going to be enough. You've got 11 damage here, and you've a 2/9 with ECM, so that's 3/9, that's 12. So the maths here doesn't look as if it's going to work in Chester's favour. This big, bad, green goblin-esque looking Nightjire Prime isn't going to kill one of these, and it costs 12, and that's a 9 cost, and that's an 8 cost. There's not going to trade favourably. So this doesn't look good. Yeah, there you go. Phalanx battle armor goes, and out with these, and Mitch is on 4 units. Okay, one's tapped, all with C3I versus 1 Nightjire Prime. Chester potentially has some initiative with Steel Viper R&D team. He can get an extra deployment from that, draw an extra card as well, and he's arguably got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and with the AMT, the ability to get another Nightjire out, probably yet 9 and then 3 counters, but it's only going to be 1 unit, and 1 unit probably not going to trade very well with these. Chester probably needs 2 medium-ish units where he can trade reasonably favourably, at least 1 for 1 or such like in the short term. Even if he guards his stockpile, Mitch is going to send those 2 over, and then everything else is going to come through from free. So it looks like Chester needs some blockers here. Needs some units on the table. Let me see what's going through. He's tapped the R&D team. He's drawn a card. Okie dokie. Let's see what's coming along. I think here Mitch is looking pretty happy. That cybernetic control node, very, very strong, buffing everything. The armament works is reasonable. Repairing 4 damage is actually quite nice. Repairing 4 damage on a hurting diva that's been on the end of a Nightjire and is probably 1 off dying is actually going to be very soul destroying if that happens. If Mitch attacks and Chester nearly kills it and then he drops that and repairs 4 damage on it, that's going to be quite painful. Ah, here we go. This is a nice answer. Crossbow B. Medium speed, which is going to block some of these somewhere along the line. And it's a 2-8, so it's going to take 10 to kill. Mitch has 4-7 there. And the Ashura battle armor, he's going to get C3 on that. So I suspect the next attack from Mitch... Ooh, red line. Red line on the Nightjire. Okay, so that's not so bad. That's not so bad from Mitch's point of view. I think the next attack is going to be Predator and Ashura battle armor going over, because they will trade with the crossbow, and the crossbow can kill the Predator. But you're talking a 7 cost. No, it can't kill it. It hasn't got enough firepower. It's got to kill the Ashura. So you're talking a 7 cost unit taking out a 0 cost piece of battle armor. That's not really efficient or a particularly good trade. The red line onto the Nightjire is good. That's going to make it 10, 11, 12, 13, which will be enough to trade out with one of these divas. But thinking about it, these 2 divas, you're going to trade one of them for a Nightjire and a redline pilot? That seems a pretty decent trade. You're getting the unit and the pilot kill. So that's 2 cards for 1 effectively. Looks like Chester's chilling at that point. So we'll see what Mitch is going to... I'm surprised he's not guarding with the Nightjire. Maybe he thinks he's going to just hold those 2 and block. I mean, what might Mitch attack? Maybe the R&D team and slow him down. But Chester is already 5 cards. 5 cards to the detriment into his deck more because of the R&D team draw. And although he's got the potential for momentum, it doesn't seem like he's got the board presence. Mitch could easily attack in 2 groups of 2 and trade 1 for 1 mech wise. Alright, the red line goes, and still end up with 2 units on the table plus what he puts down this turn. I think the card underneath me, by the way, is Mitch's stockpile, which would explain what would have been a 3rd deployment, which is confusing me totally. But they're in diametric opposites of the screen. So that's pretty strong. Cybernetic control node for a war funds. Not sure what he's looking to bring in with that. Okay. He's tapped it and scrapped it. 1 counter on the card under construction. And he's looking at his stockpile. What have we got? What's coming out here? What little sneakiness has he got stuck up his sleeve that happens to be a resource? It could be. I mean, otherwise, there's no real reason to scrap the war funds unless that card under construction requires however many resources it is. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got another cybernetic control node. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Oh, of course, the other thing is, and I've been talking rubbish. I've been talking rubbish because -1 structure on that battle armor might make a bit of difference. But he's put a second node in. Not sure why you do that. Wouldn't it have been better to leave the war funds on the table and just tap it and put this out, and then next turn tap it for another unit and scrap it for the node when you need the node? So here we've got a 274 Grigori, C3I overheat 2+2 jump attack +1. So that's 4, 7, possible 9 there, in conjunction with the other C3I units, which doesn't look good for Chester. Doesn't look good for Chester. It could be a situation where Mitch actually keeps his ECM unit out of here, because that's quite valuable, and then blocks with the Grigori and this Diva, and leaves this Diva, the Infernus, alive, and Chester doesn't have a chance of covering it. Or he might even go with a lot. So I'm expecting Preta and Ashura battle armor to go over against the crossbow B, because this Preta is moderate, and the Ashura battle armor, because this is an Omni, is moderate as well, and that's going to cause some problems. I mean, the only thing Chester could do at this point is just take the damage. The problem with that is you're taking 4, 7, 10, 12, 13. But what else are you going to do? The unit you're going to block with, probably this crossbow, because it's the only moderate thing Chester's got, is going to die. Unless he's got a mission. Unless he's got a mission. What have you got up your sleeve, Chester? What is going on here? So... those little battle armors. Okay, the cybernetic control node takes 1 structure out of them. You could argue that they both get he gets C3I twice and loses 2 structure. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. I know C3 doesn't stack in the same way as double overheats could with a red line or a sharpshooter. Yeah, there we go. As predicted. 2 moderate, well, moderate and a battle armor coming over. There's enough damage here to kill this crossbow, and if Mitch has got any sense, he's going to give +1 at armor and attack to this, which makes it a 2/6. Chester's going to dent it for 4, and then next turn the Krupp armament works. He's just going to heal 4 back off it, which is pretty soul destroying, to be honest. There's really nasty. Nice play on Mitch's part to see that and sort that out. Chester must be thinking, oh my god, what am I going to do here? How am I going to defend against this? Because the trade is not going to go fairly. Otherwise, he's just going to take a bucket load of damage. He's going to take 13. And that's got to hurt. That's got to hurt when you're on 36 cards. If you're taking 13, that's a third of what's left in your stockpile. Mitch is only 4 cards behind you, but he has the board presence, he has the numbers, he has 5 units to 2. And unless Chester can put 2 units out here, which he has got the resources for, he has got the resources to put these out, then you've got to wonder how long this is going to take. Because with the numbers he's got, Mitch is in a really strong position here. what's Chester gonna do? I suspect he's gonna block with a crossbow. Do you kill the... You have to kill the Assurer. You have to kill the Assurer. That gives it to the mech. That's a 2/6, which isn't going to die. You do 4 damage to it. That heals it. So you're not... You're going to damage it the next turn. It's going to be brand spanking new. So you have to allocate the damage to the Assurer, which, when you're dealing 6 damage with a 7 cost unit, to scrap a 0 cost little piece of, well, battle armor, tin foil on a cape, then that seems pretty rough deal. Pretty rough deal. So is it going to go? Looks like he's moved the crossbow B up to block. Maybe he should tap that. But if that crossbow B goes in there, does Mitch attack? Does he play safe? I honestly think at this point you attack, and Chester, if this trade happens, Mitch has got to attack with this, because this is going to give, what, 16 plus an overheat, 17 damage. Chester has to block. 17 damage is like half of what he's got left. His stockpile's at 36. So if he doesn't, yeah, there we go. The Assurer's gone. The crossbow B's gone. A really rough deal for Chester. Not a lot you could do about it. Really like those. Here we go. Bang on. These two divas. Chester's going to have to block with the Redline Pilot and the Nightjaya. And Mitch is going to trade one of these into that Nightjaya, and then next turn he's got the Grigori to come out. Chester won't have any units unless he's got a dash one to hit with, and then the next turn, whichever one of these survives, it's going to come over with the Grigori, and you're in another world of hurt again, because the amount of numbers coming out from these groups of 2 is pretty gross. What's Chester got? He's got 10, 11, 12, 13. He could take the Diva out. He could take either Diva out. Probably take the Infernus because of the ECM. Mitch therefore will overheat, probably long range, and drop a couple through to the stockpile. 10 damage to it. 10 damage? You're not overheating. You're not overheating. Oh no, we've taken, sorry, that's my mistake. He's taking 10 damage to it because it has 3 points of armor. That's enough to kill it. 5, 6 with the overheat, 9, and another 6, and another 3, another 9, 18 damage. 2 to the stockpile, and that's more than enough to kill the Nightjaya Prime. And we've got move to partial cover, choose one of your units, prevent 2 damage to it. Oh, that's so mean. That is so mean. I mean, to be honest, the game is probably Mitch's anyway, but that just that's just nasty. That's just pure evilness. Prevent 2 damage, and now you see the actual benefit of winning initiative and knowing what's going to happen. You can play that afterwards. This unit will stay on the table with 8 damage on it, and then that crop is going to take 4 off it. Oh, have we gone? What's gone here? So it takes 2. Right, hold on, let's have a look at the logs down the bottom here. I thought that unit survived. So, yeah, let's have a look. Move to partial cover, goes from his hand. Moves that to the... So he's scrapped that. And then he's taken... What's going on here? From the top of the table to his scrap heap. Okay. Seems a bit bizarre. Maybe it's just what's going on, or I've missed something. 10. 2-9. It's taken 13. 2 is 3. 12. It should have survived by 1. Unless it overheated. Maybe it overheated. You didn't need to overheat it, Mitch. That seems wrong to me. I think the Inferno should be on the table by my maths. Please, if I've got it wrong, tell me. So what have we got here? The Nin and a Battle Cobra. That's more like it. That's more what Chester needs. The Battle Cobra at 153, overheat 3+2, can long range 2, nice and durable. Well, not overly durable, but 3 cost. It's a good value. You can get 5 damage out of it. And then this Nin at a 176. Again, both moderate, so they're going to block this lot. That's moderate, that's slow. But you get the feeling that Mitch is going to head over with possibly all 3 here. There's no point in attacking on your own, because you're just going to bounce stuff off each other. The only thing you could do is attack with the Diva, which means Mitch has to block with the Nin, because if he blocks with the Battle Cobra, he's going to die. What have we got here? Battle Cobra 153 C3 version. I mean, this in comparison. Okay, so we have a 3 cost 2A 2T 153 C3I versus a 3A 3T. So the buyouts are slightly less. A 153 again, but you've got overheat 3+2 and long range 2. So that gets to 5. That gets to 6. You've got to think that Battle Cobra is pretty good value. And then we have a Malak here as well, as 053 fast with C3I and ECM. Seems a little pricey at 5. But here we go. So what have we got? Got a Gory and Diva straight to the stockpile. Chester's going to have to block. You've got 6 and C3I. You've got 4 and C3I. That's 9 and 7, that's 16, plus an overheat if you want it, 2+2, 18. It's going to kill both of these. The problem is that Chester can't effectively trade. 6 single blocker isn't really going to hurt either of these, and we're in that situation where 6 damage on 2 armor is going to lead 4, and then Mitch is just going to tap the crap armor, works again, and then heal everything off. So it kind of means that Chester's got a block with both. So you've got 6 and another 5 is 11. So he's allocating 11 to that Diva there. Seems quite logical. That should be enough to kill it. The other option is obviously go for the Gory, which is enough to kill it, and then it overheats, or it kills itself. So seems sensible. And then that Predator's going to hit in a minute for 4 on its own. So wonderful that we can't see the cards, isn't it? Don't think we get to see anything in spectator mode. So there we go. Now, what's Mitch gonna do? Probably just spank everything, I suspect. That Battle Cobra is going to overheat, so that only needs 3 to kill it. The Nin is an 8. You've got way more than enough. You haven't got any long range. They're both going to die. There we go. And then that is going to trade as well. Okay, fair enough. And these guys come out. You've got 4 units. Why didn't you hit the stockpile for 4 with the Predator? You've got 2. There we go. You've got 2 blockers. Chester's got nothing on the table. Predator for 4. There we go. 4 more in Chester's scrap heap. So that works sense. Rapid cooldown, coup de grace. So Chester draws. He needs something miraculous here. I'm not so sure he's going to get it, to be honest. Steel Viper R&D team to draw another card. You'd have thought he would have been trying to deploy more stuff, if it's units or even resources to get more units. So that's, or is it a standard draw a card, make an, yes, draw a card, make an additional deployment. So he's drawn his card, he's got 3 deployments. Come on, Chester, you've got 8 cards there, mate. You need to do something with this. You've got 4, 8, you've got 10 resources on the table, or if you can get to 9, you can bump that to 12. You've got to be able to do something useful with that. We've got 4 there. What have we got coming out? Another R&D team. Another deployment. Wow. This is going to be a draw yourself to death deck. Chester is already 15 cards worse off, and he's drawing 2 additional per turn. So, escalating spiral downwards. What have we got here? Can I can't change that. Let's change that. What have we got here? Oh, Dasher Prime. And it's going to get eaten by the Malik. And a Hank QC. So that's 2. Okay. 2, 6. 4 for that. 2, 6. Yeah, okie dokie. And Chester says go. To Mitch. So C3, moderate. Yeah. So this is all about how you split things up here. This Hank you see is quite strong. You can get 6 damage out of it, which is probably enough to deal with the Malik or the Battle Cobra. But if you trade a 3 cost for a 4 cost, that's fine. Trading it for the Malik doesn't quite seem right because, well, it just feels a bit wrong, doesn't it? A 153 C3 ECM for 5 seems a little expensive. You know, maybe if it was 5-3A and it was a 1-4 or something, I'm not so sure. Okay, that's big. That's 5 on there already. 2, 3, 4, 5. Mitch can get it to 7, 9. Is this another biggie? Or is there something else coming out? What have we got here? Oh, second deployment, 1 on it. It's a War Funds. Okay, tap that for another one on there. Maybe he's going to go for another resource boost. Scrap for another one, and it's a 10 cost something. Oh, this could be a. I think there's a Marauder in the deck. I think there's one big 10 cost Marauder or something. What have we got? What have we got? He's put another assembly out. There you go. Oh, it's the Marauder 2. Oh my Christ. 4, 11, 5. That thing is going to be really hard to get rid of. I mean, you feel a bit naff when you pay 10 for a 5 damage unit. With C3I that comes up to 8, and that seems pretty strong. What you're really paying here for is the body. 411, and you've got some ECM over here in this deck. And those little battle armors, the assurance can give you +1 armor on that. That's going to be hard to kill. Hard to kill, full stop. And there's nothing on the table that Chester's gonna go for. So Mitch here probably needs to attack 2 and 2. It's just a case of how you split these up. I would probably go with the. You've got two moderates and a slow and a fast. Okay, so we've got a 4 and a 3 with C3. So at the moment, Chester cannot. Right, so Chester could trade the Han QC for the Battle Cobra, which is probably his best option, or you can change it for the Malik. But that's going to be with that, and you've got to block this. So, which one do you block? You're going to go Dasher against here, probably deal 3 to the Battle Cobra, I suspect, and he's going to save the Han Q for the Malak. Which is a 1-5 because of the ECM, which that can overheat to kill the Malak. Fair enough. Yeah. Here we go. Chester's blocked, lost a unit, and Mitch has lost nothing, which means next turn they're going to come back. And then this Han QC is going to overheat, take out the Malik, and then Mitch is going to be left with 3 units plus the 4th unit, which happens to be this incredibly snotty Marauder coming across the table next turn. And you've got to feel for Chester. He's kind of being bullied and forced into those particular trades which aren't in his favour. And there you go. Thank you for that, Malik. I seem to be the master of prediction at the moment. It's not prediction. It's not psychic. It's logic and maths. And then the Marauder comes out, looking very Borderlandsy, I must say. It's the way it's drawn in the background and that. Okay, and what's Chester going to do? He needs some blockers here. He managed to bring them out last time. The problem was that Mitch had got the answers, and you think that Predator's going to get the crop armament works treatment in a minute and come back. Yeah. It'd be nice to see the hands, but hey, it's kind of fun like this. I've never done this way before. So, yeah. What you got, Chester? What have you got? You're 21 cards left. You're going to draw 2 extra probably here. I mean, the R&D team is nice, but the point is, if you don't want to draw and you don't want the deployment for whatever reason, you can't use it for anything. It's not like it's tapped for a resource. That crop armament works tapped for 2 resources. That cybernetic control node tapped for a resource. Both very strong cards. As I said, I think the control node is possibly a bit strong at that, and maybe it should be a tap it to use that ability in a mission would probably be still fair and usable. So what have we got from Chester? He's put another tactics out. Wow, guy must be drawing resources left, right, centre, and an assembly. Okay, so he's still got 2 deployments left, so this could be 2 units. 5 assembly, 6 tactics, that's 11, and a repair facility and an AMT. So he's got a load of resources to play with. It's just what he can bring out that's going to have an effect on the table. And I'm not so sure there's that much in the deck, to be honest. I mean, what we've seen has got a reasonable curve. Oh, another crossbow. Which one? The B. The B. Unfortunately, it's a shame that wasn't an A. If that was an A, it does 7 damage. It kills one of these. It kills one of these. And then the best hope he's got at the moment is killing the Battle Cobra with it. 6 damage against that. 6, 7. What's going on here? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you didn't tap an AMT to get that to 7. Seems strange. Always count your numbers. This crossbow's dead. This crossbow's dead. It's going to fall to the Predator and the Battle Cobra, and Mitch is going to trade a 3-cost Battle Cobra for a 7-cost crossbow, or it's going to try and block these, and Chester is going to take a shed load, 10, 13 from that. So, I mean, the other thing you could do here is, this is going to have to block. So do you mix them up do you bait him with the battle cobra? Because that's the only exchange he can make, is battle cobra to crossbow. You can't kill the Predator, you can't kill the Grigori, and you can't kill the Marauder unless you've got a mission to help. So from Mitch's point of view, do you do something like put the Battle Cobra with the Marauder? Because they're the two lower attacks. Even with the C3, that's going to hit, it's going to hurt and kill the crossbow. But then these guys are going to come across and you're looking at 14, 16 damage, which is going to be the end of the game, basically. Mitch has got another Malak out, another 052 fast C3 AP1, and another one here, 052 fast hand-to-hand C3I. So I think I'm a little surprised that those are paid for. That's 6. Mitch has got 6. The Krupp should have healed the Predator, the 2 off that, unless he's trying to be nice. And then, so the trade now, Chester might be thinking, I'm going to go slightly more value and trade the crossbow into the Predator, which is probably a better trade for him than the Battle Cobra, but it's still not great. I mean, you've got a 7 cost crossbow, and you're looking at exchanging it for a 3 cost Battle Cobra or a 5 cost Predator, and then these guys are gonna come across as well. So I would have preferred Mitch to have repaired the Predator with the Krupp, and then these two still would have come out. You've got the resources, and then I think I would go Battle Cobra and Marauder going across. That's 5, 8 plus 3, 6, 14, which is going to kill the Cobra. And then if you do it the other way, you've got 4, 7. You've got 2 7s, 14, 16. Here you've got 3 and 4, 7, 10, 13, which is enough. And then you've got 4 and 5, 7, 16. So you run the risk here that Chester uses the Cobra to block the bigger attack, and then you do less damage. You're going to kill the crossbow either way, so it's just how this splits up. I think personally I would have been tempted with, as I said, Krupp on that to heal it, and then Battle Cobra and Marauder across, knowing that Chester would probably have to block the Battle Cobra and trade unfavourably. Yeah, there you go. The Predator's gone because of that, and now you're just getting through for this, which is 5, 7, 9, 11, 14. He's overheat. Gives Chester a draw. Chester can draw and still survive. Whereas if you'd have done it the other way, you'd have done 1 more damage to the stockpile and it would have been game at that point. Small margins can make lots of differences. Yeah, Chester's going to take this. 5, 8, and 7, and 2. 8, 72, 17. Oh, maybe there is enough. Maybe that is enough. Maybe I miscounted. 5 and 4 is 9, plus another 6 is 15, plus 2, 15, plus 2 gets to 17. That leaves Chester on 2. Oh, fair enough. Or has he been kind and let them off? And you've got the 2 Malaks. I think the thing with C3I is you now want to create incredibly dense P super fog, where all units deal 3 less damage and receive 3 less damage in order to just nullify C3 in the way that heavy fog does it for a 2 cost version. It seems really strong, doesn't it? It's disrupting that network. So is that game, or is Chester gonna pull out or put something on the table. I mean, you probably think that's a night gyre under there, one of those big night gyre primes. Whether it will appear or not, I don't know. Is that game? If it's not game, it probably should be. Chester's been on the end of a world of hurt, I'm afraid, and I don't think Mitch has had a scratch on his stockpile. It looked at the start like Mitch had got a really good start with the cybernetic control node and the little battle armors popping out. So, yeah. Game Mitch, well played, sir. It's, and I had to look at it the other night, it's a good deck. I think this is the starter one. I think this is the Word of Blake starter one that we were looking at. Maybe he's tweaked it slightly, but it looks like it's firing on all cylinders here, and doing a pretty good job. So just wait to see what happens. I could hop into the Discord chat where they're having a natter away at this, but I think that would be a bit rude. And obviously they're discussing the games, and me sticking my nose in is not particularly nice. Yeah, not a lot of damage, but stick it with another unit. It hangs around all day. It hangs around all day. I quite like the little hand-to-hand on that. Same speed or slower. Makes it another nice little bonus. Yeah. And I think that's game. I think, you know, if Chester pulls this out and it's a night gyre, then it's not going to do much, because Mitch has got 2 fasts and a moderate to go over the top of it, and that would be 5, 6 there plus another 5 there. That's 11, and the Battle Cobra with another 6 is 17, and Chester's got 19 cards in his stockpile. He can draw 2. He could draw 4 if he wants to draw himself to death with Steel Viper, but I can't see much stopping this. If he pulls another Hankyu or a Dasher, the same thing is going to happen as last turn, where Mitch is going to attack in a pair. Chester will block and do some damage and die, prevent the damage, and then Mitch is probably, Chester could probably put 2 units out. Mitch has probably got enough to kill the 2 units with a pair, and then put the Marauder through or something or other like that, which probably go for the Grigori through actually, because then you've got 4 damage and you can overheat for 2 more. There isn't a lot of long range on there. Shame that doesn't have LR long range. And Mitch is going to do 5, and then he's at 5 units plus what he pulls out next turn. Chester's at none. It's game over. I'm calling it there. So hopefully that was an interesting thing. I've never done that before. It was purely completely opportune, and that probably tells you too much about how my brain works and how the game works and everything else. But I enjoyed it. It was a good bit of fun. So anyway, thank you for listening to my internal blurb talking about 2 other people playing the game. Hopefully they won't mind. If it does get shown, it will be with their approval. I will put it up there and let them see it, and if they're happy, I will share it with you all. And in the meantime, take care. It's a big bad world out there.